So hello and welcome to this Anxiety Masterclass. Now you are in the right place if you feel can't even speak. Shall I start again? Hello and welcome to this Anxiety Masterclass. You are in the right place if you feel that life is controlling you rather than you are in control of your life. So maybe that already feels familiar. So if you are struggling with any aspect of your life, it's Sunday morning, the mouth is not going to work very well. If you are struggling with any aspect of your life that is causing you to feel stressed, anxious, unwell, or in pain, then these are the many symptoms and the sensations of anxiety. And as we go through this masterclass, you will get a much greater understanding as to why that would be. And I know some of you already know quite a lot of some of this stuff, but it is always worth being reminded because I often come up with things that you have not heard before and my wonderful sayings that you have heard before. So most importantly, you are here because you want to change this. You want to learn how to change the way you're feeling. You want to take back control because here is something that is very, very important, okay? The body does what we tell it to do, okay? I'm going to say that again. The body and the mind does what we tell it to do. Now, we have 60,000 to 90,000 unconscious thoughts a day. So it's not necessarily your conscious mind telling you, it may be your unconscious mind. Okay, just hold that thought as we go through the class. Okay, so what are you going to learn today? Most importantly, you are going to learn that you are not broken, that there is nothing wrong with you. Even if you've got these unpleasant sensations, it doesn't mean you are broken or there is something wrong. It may feel wrong, but actually it is that your body is doing what it was designed to do. So it is working perfectly well. And ultimately, you are creating your own reality. So you're going to learn exactly what anxiety is, why you get all these strange sensations and symptoms related to that, why you have not yet learned to solve your problem, and therefore where your solution does lie. And not only where it lies, but how you can make sure it works for you. So how you can make your solution, how you can make sure that you can do the solution to achieve a calm, confident, a contented, and an in control self. Because anxiety is usually about trying to control something that we cannot control, whether that's an unconscious action or something around us. Okay, let's do it then. What is anxiety? So anxiety is your survival mechanism, okay? It's your defense mechanism. It's the way your body is protecting itself. When it believes that you're in danger, all sorts of things start happening, okay? So you go into your fight and flight and your sympathetic nervous system. That is very important because I mention the sympathetic nervous system quite a lot in all of my programs because the opposite is the parasympathetic nervous system. So you'll learn more about that in a minute. So when you are anxious, you are in your defense mechanism. You are in survival mode. So you are surviving, okay? All these weird symptoms, you are surviving. It doesn't mean you're about to die. It doesn't mean something terrible is about to happen. You are surviving. And so you're in that fight and flight, which says, if something comes in my way, I can run as fast as I need to run, or I can punch my way out of this, okay? So that's why often emotions like anger come up, as well as the sensations of fear. So it can be one way or the other. Do you want to run from this, hide in the bushes, or do you want to stand and face it and punch your way out of it? Okay, not a great image, but you know, that's what it was there to it's designed to do, and it's innate within all of us. So if we didn't have this mechanism, we wouldn't have survived. And it doesn't mean that you've had to already fight or flight your way out of something. But our generation, going back into caveman days, it's innate within us because it has always ensured that we will survive. And as you'll learn later, there's other ways that we survive by using the familiarity of things. So your body is working perfectly well. It is doing what it was meant to do, but it feels bad. I get that. It's not a pleasant feeling, okay? But it's the same that when you get the flu and you get a high temperature and your nose is running, that's actually your body defending itself against the flu virus. So the high temperature burns away the germs. It makes it an internal environment where the germs can't survive. The running of the nose is flushing it out. So, again, it's not pleasant. Nobody likes to get a cold or to get the flu, but it's how your body is protecting itself. It's amazing. It can do wonderful things. Panic, by the way, is a fear of the sensations of fear. And so is generalized anxiety. Generalized anxiety tends to happen because we really begin to fear feeling fearful, fearing the symptoms within us, and then start carrying them around all during the day in all sorts of situations. So even if it started off as a fear of, let's say, going back to work, or going to the supermarket, or going out socially, not knowing what to say, because then we're feeling that fear, we tend to then take it into other parts of our day, and then our brain remembers it. So this, when have I been here before and what could be wrong with it? So that's the way the brain decides whether or not it's going to kick in your anxiety, not just on the sensory information coming in at that time, but when have I been here before and what could be wrong with it? Okay, so fear is often caused by trying to control something we cannot control. So we're on a hide to nothing here. Okay, a message has just popped up on my phone, so I'm just going to press OK on that. And I don't know why I'm pressing OK, but I didn't have any other way to get rid of it. Let's see if I can edit that bit out when I when I record the masterclass. Right. Okay. So fear is often caused by trying to control something you cannot control. So you're on a hide to nothing there, aren't you? So say it's somebody else's behavior. You're trying to control that, i.e. if they keep doing that, I will feel uncomfortable. Therefore, I have to make them change the behavior. But you can't make them change the behavior. So the harder you try, the worse it gets, okay? So this is why anxiety feeds itself. One of the reasons. Hold on for a bit longer. So it started from a seed and then it grew because of the way, when have we been here before and what could be wrong with it? I'm going to say that quite a lot, I think. So the brain is clocking that information. So for whatever reason that you got anxiety, it may be one big thing. It may be that you had a trauma, that seed was planted, and then because you fed that seed, you nurtured that seed, it grew. It could be that someone planted lots of little seeds, or that from those little seeds, you just kept feeding it. So there's this study that was done on ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And there's a very strong understanding that people that just seem to be innately anxious, that they don't really know how to get into a calm state, it's because of what their childhood experiences were. And that doesn't mean that there's terrible childhood experiences. So for instance, with me, it was very much about the fact, yes, I had early trauma. I was a twin. My twin died in the womb. And then my mother was ill when I was born. So after a couple of weeks, I was taken away from her and given to my granny. I mean, I was loved, I was looked after, but for a baby, they don't understand why they're now not with the person that they feel safe with. And they know really that I was disturbed by that because I was very unsettled when I came back. And so I just re-traumatized myself because I felt anxious, and then I began to feel anxious in lots of other situations. And so going to school was a problem, going to nursery was a problem, then other things to do with that. My trauma, so my ACEs were, if you like, entirely of my own doing. As I say, we we do what our brain tells us to do. But I was a child. I didn't understand it, and I certainly didn't know this stuff. I couldn't have known this stuff, so I didn't know how to make it any different. So I lived with that until my 40s. Wasn't till then, I mean, I wasn't obviously scared of school at that point, but it was just like this underlying stress response that meant it didn't take a lot to trigger me into a state of anxiety. So why do we feel so bad when we're anxious? So I mentioned about a cold that our nose streams and we get temperature. So what is the point of all these weird sensations when we get anxious? And these can be, we can feel shaky, our head can spin, we can flush, we can sweat, we can be desperate to go to the loo. Either way, we might feel sick, we might be sick. Our heart rate is changing, is pounding, we're going hyperventilating, feel like we can't breathe. So what's the point of that? How is that really going to help us feel better? How's that going to help us survive? Well, it's because we're primed then to fight or flight, but we're not doing it, are we? We might be sat in our car, we might be sat in our workplace, we might be lying in bed like we've just woken up, and all these changes are going on within our body. So adrenaline's being released, cortisol's being released, and what that does is, it, as well as other neurochemicals going on, but it's redirecting the blood supply to your muscles ready to run. It's cut it off from your gut. And so the message is, I can't digest, right, let's just chuck out what's in there. So some people just get really twitchy and fidgety. They can't sit still because they've got this underlying need to run from the situation, even though they're not thinking, I need to run. They're just thinking, oh, why is my body so uncomfortable? Oh, I've got to keep moving. Oh, if I move, I'll feel better. So, you know, they might play with their hair, they might do all sorts of things. They might look at their phone, actually. That's become the new distraction for when we feel uncomfortable. Default setting, just look on the phone. So it is a distraction mechanism, but it also does not address the cause. In fact, probably heightens it. So when we're feeling like this, our senses go on high alert. So that's see, feel, hear, smell, taste, touch. Okay, did I cover them all? VACOG, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, auditory, and olfactory. Gustatory, I don't know. I got lost in that lot. But basically, we're on high alert, so we're looking out for potential danger. We're feeling this anxiety, and so our brain is scanning, thinking, where is it? Where is it? What do I have to be alert to? Because you could be, you know, out in the forest being hunted. You've got to hear every sound, smell every smell. Smells, incidentally, are really important, because if you smell a weird chemical smell now, you know to avoid it, to take action. If you smelt smoke, again, you know, oh dear, maybe my house is burning down. I need to take action. So it's there for a very, very good purpose. I'm sure, like most of us, we've left something cooking when we didn't mean to, a piece of toast or whatever. And if we hadn't have smelt that, then potentially we could have burnt our house down and killed ourselves. But that's the worst case scenario. But that's what it's there for. Remember, this is your survival mechanism. Your body literally thinks that that is a viable option, that you could go from whatever you're experiencing now to death if you didn't take action. So that's why it really makes these symptoms so noticeable. So I'm not trying to scare you here, because this is your body doing it, and it doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that you're more likely to die. In fact, it means you are less likely to, because you are protecting yourself. Though what I would say, long-term stress is really not good for your health, so it is worth addressing this. So your body is adapting. That's what it's all about. Your body is getting ready to run, to fight, but here you are, you're stuck. You're in this place. This is why you might start thinking, right, okay, I need to get out of here. And your imagination then runs wild, and all the thoughts come in your head, and you're now really in your head about all these horrid sensations in your body. Okay, is this sounding like you? I hope this isn't triggering you, But I want you to know that you are normal. This is what your body was meant to do, okay? Yes, it feels horrible, as I say, just like a cold, but it shows that it is working perfectly. You are not broken, okay? But it also doesn't mean that you can't change it, because it's just not relevant, is it? All of these feelings you're getting are coming up at the wrong time. You are not in danger. You do not need to survive. The message is coming through on high alert. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a little diagram here. Da-da! I know, it's good, isn't it? Okay, so what's happening is you should be, or when you're going about your day-to-day business, you should be in this green zone. Okay, that's great, isn't it? You're just happily going about your daily business. You've got energy, you're feeling alert. You know, when you go to sleep or you meditate or you do conscious relaxation, hurrah, you're down here right in your parasympathetic nervous system, having a wonderful relaxed time. Here, you're moving between the two. The in-breath actually takes you to your sympathetic and the out-breath to your parasympathetic. So this is a good place to be, okay? This is where everything is working well, and this is where you do need to go every day for healing, for recharging your batteries. So that's really important too. Here, my pen was running out. Here is the orange zone. This is like your danger zone, okay? Not big danger, but warning sign. So you're happily here, but if you're suffering from just a generalized anxiety that seems to be there all the time, you're probably functioning here. And when you go to sleep, you may only just be coming into here rather than going down here. Okay, hope this is making sense. Now the red zone, the danger zone, this is like too late. Now I'm full blown in anxiety. So it is not unusual at times to step in here. Okay, maybe we're worrying about something, we're hurrying, we're behind with something, whatever, things aren't going the way we want them to. It's okay to come in there as long as we are resilient enough to come back down into here, and as long as we do not feed it. Okay, if we feed this, we go into here. Okay, so hold that diagram, wonderful as it is, in your thoughts at this moment. Okay, next thing, so this is your body telling you to avoid that situation, but avoidance doesn't work, because often what it is, it's an imagined situation. It hasn't even happened yet. Okay, and I'll explain more about that in a minute. So in this place, we might have done a risk assessment. We might now be overcautious because all of our senses are, hyper alert. So what's happening actually inside of your brain now is there's all sorts of activity going on that's priming you to be in this fight and flight state. And that actually is really quite stressful for the brain. So then we start getting other symptoms like chronic pain or ill health, because all of these systems then kind of get stuck in high alert. And part of the defense mechanism, so I've already mentioned, a runny nose and a temperature, but it may make us tired, i.e. rest, recuperate. So anybody with chronic fatigue, then that's a sign that they're in their defense mechanism. They may not be feeling like they're fighting or flying because they don't have the energy. No, now that constant generalized fight and flight has gone into this place of tiredness. So I'll just stay in my safe little space now and recuperate before I'm ready to activate my fight and flight again. It's exhausted. So that's where we might also get sleep issues, because it's like, well, don't go to sleep, because you're on high alert, so you possibly can't go to sleep. So the brain often then starts overthinking. So you can see how this generalizes. So the body basically is overworking. So we get it, okay? It's horrible, you don't like it, you don't want it, it's controlling your life because it's literally giving you a distorted view of everything that's going on around you. And you've tried to stop it, haven't you? Most of us, when we're feeling like that, we have tried to stop it. Of course you have. It's unpleasant. You don't want this. You don't want to see things from this perspective, but you haven't yet solved it. And I know actually some of you have that are watching this, or you have solved a great deal of it, that you're definitely on the right pathway. So take a breath. That was a lot of information, okay? Just piled on everything that you've been experiencing in a few short minutes. Let's call that a pink elephant, okay? We don't need to look at it in all of its details anymore, because I want to give you a solution, okay? So a pink elephant. Your problem is a pink elephant and you haven't yet solved it. So I'm going to tell you why you haven't solved it. Don't think of a pink elephant. No, stop thinking about a pink elephant. I said, don't think of a pink elephant. Don't think about it. Don't do it. Don't go anywhere near an image of a pink elephant. You can't do it, can you? The point about anxiety is those symptoms shout so loud that you can't not notice them. You can't not think about them. But every time you think of them, you're feeding them, okay? So when you are thinking about your pink elephant, when you're thinking about your problem, you can't get away from it, because the brain deletes the don't and just goes straight on in there and reminds you of everything that you ever have experienced in anxiety. So we're going to my other very good drawing. You can't, actually it goes that way. You can't see the green very well. Okay, let me explain this. What happens is, let's say you wake up in the morning, and many people wake up feeling anxious, and there's actually a scientific reason for that. I'm going to go back to this. You know what I said about sleeping and why it's quite difficult if you're loitering around here all day. When we go to sleep, we actually produce more cortisol. It's part of our recovery. It's how we recharge our batteries. But if you've already got too much cortisol because you're in here, you go to sleep, you produce more cortisol, or you don't even get good night's sleep, so it's probably restless, so you're producing even more cortisol. You wake up in the danger zone because your body is awash with cortisol. So that's a chemical response. And then what happens is you feed it, you start thinking. So going back to this, you wake up, your cortisol levels are high, you notice that you're getting symptoms, okay, we call pink elephants, let's call them pink elephants. You notice that you're getting pink elephants, and as you get these pink elephants, you're like, oh no, pink elephants, what does that mean for today? And all you see is pink elephants for the rest of the day, and how those pink elephants are going to get in the way for the rest of the day. And if you hadn't fed them, then naturally, as you'd got up and you'd got going and you'd have used up some of that adrenaline and cortisol, because you're producing more adrenaline now because your pink elephants are telling you to, you'd have gone into the green zone where you want to be. That's healthy, that's happy, that's calm, that's confident. So that's where you want to be. But because those pink elephants keep appearing, because, as I say, when have I been here before, it's become more generalized, you dip down again. And what I would say, it's quite normal to ride a gentle wave. But when we get anxious, we start doing great big dips. And then what happens is, especially in depression, when it becomes one big dip, you end up like that instead. You start missing your ups. And with depression, you actually go like that, okay? It's a big pit of despair. How did that happen? Because as soon as you started dipping down, because you were fearful of that fear, remember I said that earlier, so you're scared of your pink elephants, and when you get them, then you get more fear, and so you go deeper and you start putting judgment, expectation, imagination, increasing your tension. So the reason why you haven't solved your problem is because you are trying not to do your pink elephants. And by doing that, you're actually feeding them. So if you started off a little pink elephant and you fed it loads, you've now got a great big pink elephant that you are dragging around with you each day. No wonder you're feeling exhausted. So I hope that makes sense to you, and my analogy isn't just my crazy mind, but to me it makes sense. So I hope it does to you. So what then happens is our internal environment, so that's our neurochemicals, our muscle state, where the blood is being diverted to, all of that becomes absolutely perfect environment to feed more problems and to grow more symptoms, as I say, like chronic pain and illness that seem completely unrelated to the anxiety in the first place. So now we've just got something else to worry about. Why is my body now behaving like this? There must be something seriously wrong with me. And then, whoo, there we are, right down in that dip, because the fear gets worse. Okay. So if you're not going to stop your pink elephants, if you're not going to focus on your pink elephants, what are you going to do? And where is this solution? So I said at the beginning that we create our own environment. We do what our body tells us to do. So I think you have probably already realized that your body has been telling you to remain in this state of anxiety, to keep having these symptoms, rather than, how do you want to be? You want to be calm, you want to be confident, you want to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed and revitalized, full of enthusiasm for the day. Heather says she has a whole herd of pink elephants. My goodness me. She lives in the countryside, I believe. Obviously, there's a bit more space for pink elephants. Okay, so where do you want to be? You want to wake up refreshed and revitalized. You want to go in this direction. You don't want to be seeing these pink elephants. You want to see a field of sunflowers, and you can dance through the daisies, whatever it is. Excuse me, all this talking, let me have a drink. Remember, I said when you're seeing pink elephants, you're in your sympathetic nervous system. You want to come out of that. You want to be in your green zone, in your parasympathetic. Where's it gone? Down here, chilling out, recovering, getting relief, feeling how you want to feel. Okay, how do you get there? You have to use your breath, your body, and your imagination. You have to do what you want to do, i.e. be how you want to be, feel how you want to feel. Now, I have called my business now, and I've spent years trying to find the exact right name, and it is now going under the title of The Healthful Mind, because everything that I do is about encouraging your mind to go towards health. At the moment, where's it going? Towards what you don't want. We want to take you towards health. We want to finely tune and prime your brain, because your mind and your body are intrinsically linked. So everything that goes on up here will affect the whole body, and vice versa. So we want to finely tune your whole body towards health, towards seeing health, feeling health, and most importantly, being health. Okay, so that means rather than trying not to be in your fight and flight, your sympathetic, being with the pink elephant, it means using your skills, all of the same systems that have taken you where you don't want to be. You can control those systems and you can take them to where you do want to be. So that's what it's all about. That is your solution. Your solution is to stop trying to stop your problem, but now to start doing your solution. Okay? Start doing your solution. Start feeling well. Start feeling happy. Start feeling calm. Oh yes, I can hear you. You're shouting at me now. All very well for her to say, but how do we do that? Because this herd of elephants are stampeding over us. Don't worry, you can do it, but you have to have a step-by-step process. You have to accept that it takes time, but mostly you have to have the certainty, the clarity, and the consistency that you understand exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it's going to work. So I'm going to use the example of from my teens, I listened to meditations, hypnosis recordings. I listened to them. Yeah, it felt quite nice at the time. I listened, but I didn't do them. Okay, what's the difference? When you do them, you're feeling it. You have to feel it to believe it. So bear in mind what you have been feeling. When you're feeling the pink elephants, you believe they're there. Okay, you believe them wholeheartedly, that if you go and do this thing, you are in danger because you're feeling it. But what about if you were feeling calm, if you were believing that you were calm, if you were using your imagination and your breath and your body to create this wonderful, wonderful calm environment, okay, and therefore you could see yourself being calm in the future in these situations that at the moment you're only seeing how you don't want them. Now you're seeing those field of daisies and sunflowers and whatever for what they actually are. Now when you're seeing what you do want and you're feeling it, which is what happens in hypnosis, which is what can happen in meditation, not only are you changing your internal environment, but you're changing what you're seeing, you're predicting your future, you're reprogramming and you're rewiring your brain to move towards health. By the way, this is also about success. This comes up quite a lot because often people get very, very anxious, especially if they have a physical health condition. So this can work both ways, that anxiety causes physical symptoms, but physical symptoms also cause anxiety because physical symptoms activates the defense mechanism, i.e. like in a cold. So lots of people, when they have a cold, they say, oh, my anxiety is worse. You know, if they stub their toe or they have a headache, even if that was from something else, then the anxiety can be worse. So it works both ways. But in business, when you're working, often these physical symptoms then bring about doubts, and then you lose your confidence and you lose your self-belief and you start worrying about more things, and therefore you don't succeed in the way that you would do, because by the way, you've also lost your concentration and your memory, because that's what happens when you're anxious as well. Because you're not being mindful, you're not in the moment, you're not absorbing it. So if you want to get more success in your life, it's essential that you are calm, that you're confident, and that you feel in control of your body, and therefore you would feel in control of what you're capable of achieving. So this really is your health, happiness, and your success solution. Right, where are we? So you need to get into your parasympathetic nervous system. You need to use your breath, your body, and your imagination, which, by the way, is hypnosis. Hypnosis speaks the language of your unconscious mind. So those 60,000 to 90,000 thoughts that you're getting a day, if they were trained through your breath, your body, and your imagination, through experiencing, so you're feeling calm, you're feeling confident, you're feeling in control, then you can go and do it. So let's think about, let's say you wanted to swim the channel. Okay, I don't want to swim the channel, the water's too cold for me, but say you did, or say you just wanted to run 5k. Okay, lots of people doing couch to 5k. How do you do couch to 5k? Well, you don't do it by just listening to it, do you? Though actually you can improve your fitness by actually imagining things. But you want to do couch to 5k, you get out there and you start. The first step, the second step, you start walking, then you start running and walking until you get to running, and then you start running faster, and then you improve your time, and it gets easier and easier and easier. Okay? So for training to be calm, to training to be confident, to training to be really well, you've kind of got to do your couch to 5k. And if you're a pink elephant, or you've got a load of pink elephants that you're carrying with you, it's going to be really difficult. So, but when you can see those field of daisies ahead of you and it's inspiring and invigorating, believe me, it is so much easier. Now, I'm sure you're aware that really everything depends on your mindset, even, you know, what you eat and everything. So this is, the Healthful Mind is about training you into a healthful mindset. Okay, so this is your solution, and as I say, you have to take it step by step, but there's still that other pink elephant that said, how did I get here in the first place? I can't say that didn't happen. I can't just ignore that. No, but we can resolve it. So I'm going to tell you very briefly now, at least I think I am. Let's have a little look. I'm just going to mention my rebalance program, because at the end of this, I am going to tell you how you can potentially enter my prize draw to win a free place in my next rebalance course. So it's Rebalance Health Free Training Program, and it's £697. So it is well worth winning, but only doers get to enter. Okay, but let me just tell you a little bit about rebalance and why it's called that. Okay, so here we have my printed diagram, but I was running out of ink. So okay, and you're seeing that in reverse, aren't you? I'm sure of that. But this is the present moment. Okay, this is your solid, healthful foundation. All right, when you are here, you are in your solution. Okay, this is where you want to be. So if we refer back to this diagram, that's effectively that blue line. Okay, this is homeostasis. This is where everything is working towards what you do want, to be healthy, to be calm, all of this. Okay, good feeling. Now you've got a past and you've got a future. So I mentioned ACEs. If you have adverse childhood experiences that are consistently triggering you into this pink elephant state, then they shout loudly. Maybe not with actual memories, but the feelings. We bring forward feelings. So in one exercise I do, IEMT, the question is, when did I learn to feel this way? And actually that follows through with the hypnosis as well. When did I learn to feel this way? What's my memory that's taken me into this state? So we need to address them. We need to resolve them. But if we try and resolve them and we're already in this high state of anxiety, what happens? We revisit them, we just experience, we start to actually relive them rather than rewrite and rewire them. So that's why it is so important that you learn to be in this place. And that's why in my rebalance, it comes in 3 stages: rebalance, resolve, and reboot. Rebalance runs through the whole lot, and actually for the rest of your life, because if you want to run couch to 5k and you want to stay being able to run 5k, you've got to keep running. But that doesn't mean you have to do all that training again, does it? It means now it's a maintenance, it's keeping it going. All right, so here, when you are here, you are where you want to be. We all do this all day, and that's fine. But if you get stuck here and it's a big feeling, then you need someone to guide you through that. You need to resolve those, otherwise they're going to keep popping up. So I used to run my programs, like people used to come hour by hour, and it's like they come, they've had a couple of sessions, yeah, that feels great, off they go. And I'd explain to them, look, I'm going to help you to feel good, but we need to resolve the past. But I'm going to help you to feel good first. But because they weren't on a program, they'd feel a bit better. And they'd say, oh, I don't need to come today. I'll come back when the problem comes back. And it's like, well, it will come back because we haven't resolved it yet. Yes, you feel better now, but unless you keep on with that and you remove those triggers, you're going to keep coming back to your problem. And sure enough, they come back a month or 2 later and it'd be like, oh, this has happened, I don't feel so good now. And I'd say, well, okay, but now we've got to do damage limitation. Let's get you to feel good first and then we'll resolve that. Okay, they'd feel good. I won't bother with next week's appointment, I feel all right. So they didn't get the results they wanted. It was frustrating for me because I knew that they had great potential to feel so much healthier, so much happier, and to succeed in what they wanted to succeed in, but they weren't reaching their potential because they were forever, let's go back to this one, loitering around this area. Yeah, they learned how to dip down here, but they were generally living around here, and you know, something would pop up and then they'd be right back where they started again. Well, not quite back where they started, because they had more skills and more understanding. And self-awareness is really important, because we have to know when to use the exercises, how to use the exercises. And incidentally, the exercises aren't all about doing 20 minutes of a hypnosis. There are lots and lots of practical skills to bring into your everyday life, so your life becomes healthful, so your thinking becomes healthful, your behavior becomes healthful. Okay, so far we've covered, you want to be here in the present moment, you want to resolve your past. So what's the future got to do with it? Who has ever, from a pink elephant state, seen things that actually never happened or will never happen? So there was some wise guy from 500 years ago, and he said, my life was full of catastrophe. That's sad, isn't it? My life was full of catastrophe, none of which ever happened, i.e. he'd imagined it. And your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. So when you imagine things going wrong, when you imagine feeling dreadful in a situation, you do. So going back to, we create our own reality. Our brains and our bodies do what we tell them to do. So if we are seeing things how we don't want them to be, if that's where our focus is, then that's what we're going to get. And it's not until we learn to consistently focus on other things. And actually, often what happens is, it's not like we have to resolve every issue that you've ever had. It's like you've learned to be this new way, and then you let go of one or two things and the rest just go. Because it's like the brain says, well, now I see that they are not relevant, that I do not have to keep bringing them forward. Okay, where are we at? So seeing it how you want it to be, feeling it how you want to feel, all of that. But it's all about the doing. If you don't do it consistently, then, as I say, it'd be like maybe walking or running to the end of the road and then plodding back without having done that full 5K. You know, if you want to get to your goals, if you want to achieve your potential, whether that's health, whether that's happiness, whether that's success, whatever it is, you have to work at it. And I would love to wave a magic wand. And lots of people think hypnosis is a magic wand. And incidentally, this isn't just hypnosis. There's way more than hypnosis in here. As anybody listening to this that has been through any of my programs will know, that it's, let's start, NLP, breath work, mindfulness, meditation, yes, hypnosis, CBT, IEMT, so that's the integral eye movement therapy, gratitude, positive psychology, is all of this, because there is not one answer. This is a health training. You will only ultimately feel completely healthy, happy, and feel, most importantly, in control of any situation. So when difficulties arise, you can address them. You're resilient. You're able to respond, we talk about it, rather than reacting. Because already, I'm going back to this diagram, if you're here and something happens, you go into here, and very quickly, especially if you've got good vagal tone, and you don't know about that yet, but you will if you do my program, it's all about how quickly you recover from stresses. So if you come quickly back here, then that's fine. But if something happens and then you go, oh my God, I can't deal with this, this is too much, and then start catastrophizing your future, you're going to be right in there again. So can't remember what I said before that now, but yeah, we want to build this resilience. We want to build this capability within you to live your life from a place of just feeling calmer, feeling happier, feeling healthier. And as I said, I used to be anxious, but I do have health problems. I have some chronic health conditions that won't go, they're genetic. In fact, one is called hypermobility spectrum disorder, and it affects then my muscles, my connective tissue, my heart rate, my blood vessels, my digestion. And actually it was quite a long time before I knew I had this. But now that I know that I have it, I know how to work with it, that I'm no longer, and in actual fact, I solved my problems before I had this diagnosis. But once it was like putting things in place, then it's like, now I know what I'm working with. So when you understand actually what's going on in your body, which hopefully you do now, you understand much better about what's happening when you feel anxious, then you can use the skills you have to change it. But if you don't know what's going on and you don't know how to get your solution, and you certainly then don't have the skills to use any solution that comes your way consistently with certainty and clarity, then you will not get the ultimate results that you desire. You may feel a bit better than you do now, but it's how good do you want to feel, and how much are you prepared to do to get there. Okay, listening is great, shelf help, read the books, but remember, I mean, I read hundreds of books, I did loads of meditations, I did loads of hypnosis, but I did not know why I was doing it, or really what I was actually aiming to get, and how that was going to change my body. And it doesn't just change the body, it changes your brain, it changes the mere structure of your brain using these exercises. Every time you think positively, every time you fill in your journal, because we do that as well. Okay, so once trained the mind, or once you have trained your mind to be healthful, as long as you keep feeding it healthful thoughts and behaviors, it will remain that way. And actually, it's going back to the couch to 5K. Once you can run 5K, it's so much easier to maintain it. You maybe don't have to try as hard. But you'll know if you don't look after it, won't you? You'll know if you then, start going down, sitting on the couch again, you've got to work your way back up. Right, okay. So what you want now is some exercises. You want to feel better. I get that. Okay, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to tell you how you can enter this prize draw. But remember, it is only for doers, so I am going to make you do quite a bit to get to it. And actually, the prize draw runs until the 1st of November. So there will be, I've got various feeds coming in to go into this prize draw. But there's you can join the stuff along the way. But there's only one entry per person, because you have to do one specific thing to prove that you are a doer. And so I know that you completely understand what it is you're getting into, and that you really want to do it, because I have given prizes away before and people don't do them, and that's because they don't value them, because they haven't paid for them. And then they don't value their worth. So I am not going to give anything away to anybody that is not a doer. Right, let's feel better today. Okay, right, so much information. Let's take a moment to just breathe. Okay, remember I told you that the breath was important. Just notice how you're breathing now. I've been doing a lot of out breathing with lots of words coming out. It's because I am a little bit aware of time, which actually, I say that, I have no idea what the time is. Let's go to that. Oh, my hour's almost up. Okay. Right. A long, slow out breath will take you straight into your parasympathetic nervous system. When we are anxious, we become really tense up here, okay? And we become tight. And we breathe up here, and a panic attack, people tend to just keep breathing in, so that I can't breathe. No, because you've forgotten to breathe out. And the last bit. And then breathing in through your nose. People gasp when they're anxious, or breathe through their mouth. And also there are I can't remember the word, cilia in your nose, and basically when you breathe in, the air going through that stimulates them, and they produce neurochemicals that says everything's okay with the world. If you breathe through your mouth, you're missing that, and so therefore you will feel more anxious and stressed anyway. And that also tells you to breathe down to your abdomen, down to your diaphragm. So all sorts of things change. We're so finely tuned that a little bit of alteration actually can go a long, long way to either make your problem worse or to make it better. So a long, slow out breath. How much breath have you been holding inside of you? Can you take a long, slow out breath? Breathe in through your nose. Did that go down to your belly? Did you activate your diaphragm? Now the vagus nerve, that is very much a part of your fight and flight response, so it's what makes all the changes, or part of what makes all the changes going on in your body when your fight and flight is activated, but it also runs through your diaphragm. And so therefore, if you do not use your diaphragm properly because you're breathing up here, then you are not toning your vagal nerve, in which case you will get stressed much easier and you will not recover from stress as easy either. So okay, let's do another one. Breathing in through your nose down to your belly, and a long slow out breath. And this time allow your muscles in your shoulders and your arms in particular to relax. Breathing in again. And as you breathe out again, really begin to use your imagination and imagine that you are letting go of all tension, that all of your muscles and all of your cells are becoming really, really relaxed. That's it. In a wonderful, calm space. Can you see that field of sunflowers or daisies? You know, can you see what you want to see from this direction? I'm going to the beach after this, so I can see the beach. I can smell the beach. I can hear the beach. So, you know, that's where my thoughts are going. If I start to see the traffic jams or seeing, you know, problems with that, then I'll put myself in a stress state. But if I just imagine being on the beach, watching the waves, breathing with the waves, then I will feel immensely calm. So maybe already you have recognized in that very, very short exercise that if you take a long, slow out breath, not only is it easier to breathe to where you want to breathe, but you feel more relaxed. Okay, if in doubt, breathe out. Now, a breathing recording is fantastic, and as a bonus for signing up, so if you're watching this and you have not signed up on the Anxiety Masterclass email list, I would ask you to do that, or on any other email list that I have sent you this, because if you want to receive a breathing recording, a meditation that will help you to learn how to breathe but also to relax you, then yeah, you need to be on that list. Okay, so another exercise. So that's the first exercise. And if you do that regularly throughout the day, if you just have that new awareness in your breath, that actually every time you breathe out, you feel calmer, and you keep resetting it. So going back to this, rather than feeding it, you might notice, oh, I don't feel so good now. Okay, I'm going to use my breath. And you come back then into this place of balance. Okay, you're in the present moment, you're in your breath. Now everything is calm, everything is relaxed. It's a good feeling. Okay. So the other exercise is anchoring, which these are my two go-to exercises. So I know some of you have done this before, but I often have to remind my clients, keep up with the anchoring, because it becomes a quick switch into a place of calmness or happiness or whatever it is you're anchoring. So anchoring, all we do is we press on the palm of our hand as we are releasing the chemicals that we want to release. So how do we do that? Well, we use our breath, but then we also might relax, or we use our imaginations and our memories to go back into times and places that felt good, or to imagine them if we can't think of anything. So like, I can tell you, I can already think about going to the beach this afternoon. The sun is going to be warm. We're going to go to Muddyford Spit, which, in case you don't know, there's sand dunes, and it's like another world out there. It's blissful, and it's usually quite quiet. And so I have this wonderful image of what it's going to be like. I'm going with my grandson. Maybe it won't be that quiet because he's only 17 months old. But so I'm already imagining how it's going to be, and it's appealing and it feels good, and it makes me feel happy. And so that, you know, if you want to wake in the morning with eager anticipation for the day, you need to see it how you want it to be. Whereas if you wake and you just see problems for the day, well, then you're going to get the problems. So let's move to where you want to be, and you start to see it how you want to be, and we anchor it. So let's do that. I suggest you close your eyes for this exercise, because to shut off from the chit chat and sounds and whatever around you. So just coming into your body. So start it with a breath, maybe a long slow out breath, coming back down into your body. Nice, energizing, gentle in-breath, expanding the belly, and breathing out again. Okay, and then allow your imagination or your memory to think of something, a time and a place when you felt fantastic, or where you imagine it would feel great. Okay, you might choose to go to your favorite place. You may go back onto a holiday. You might just think, well, I could be just sat in my garden now, or stroking my dog, or whatever it is. It doesn't matter the size of it. It doesn't matter how recent it was, or how long away it was, or whether it's even happened yet, as long as it feels good. So we say, see what you see, hear what you hear, and feel what you feel. And as you feel that, then you can begin to believe it, and everything else begins to go towards that. Be aware of your breath. Be aware of, maybe put a smile on your face. Imagine that you are in that place right now, having this wonderful time. And while you're doing this, your brain is releasing all the chemicals as if you were in that place. So then you press on the palm of your hand and you capture it. And you say, this feels good, I'm doing this. Okay, so you're literally telling your brain, remember, your brain does what you tell it to do. So you're telling it, this feels good, I'm doing this. You got this? You hearing me? I'm seeing this, I'm feeling it, I'm being it. Fantastic. Let go of your anchor, and then think of something else. Just go to another memory or an imagination that feels good. Okay? And again, seeing it, feeling it, being it. And when you're there, you can anchor it. And with a smile on your face, that's sending clear messages as well. You wouldn't be smiling if you weren't happy. So that smile will increase the chemical flow of positive chemicals. It will increase the activity in your brain in the areas that you want to be stimulating to have a healthful mind. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to see that your world is perfect. You are just experiencing something that is pleasurable, and you're capturing it. Okay, when you're ready, opening your eyes. And then we use a bit of a mindfulness exercise to begin to notice each day all the wonderful feelings that we get. So rather than focusing on your problem, you are now focusing and seeing that actually your solution, you've already got it. That there are times in the day when you feel okay. There are good things in your life. There are moments that actually are getting drowned out by the pink elephants. You can't see through the pink elephants. You know, I know they say you can't see the wood for the trees, but believe me, you can't see the daisies for the pink elephants. So, but they're there. They were already there. They were already in your life. So you start noticing them and you capture them, and you go, oh, this feels good, I'm doing this. Oh, at this moment I feel calm. This feels good, I'm doing this. And then rather than getting more pink elephants, because you're not going in that direction anymore, you are doing being healthful. You are doing being how you want to be. You're doing being calm. But you got that example. You are working with your body to get even more of what you've already got. That it's that you want to build on.